So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order turned out to be a smash hit. Unsurprising, given, it's Star Wars, but still, look at EA making a single-player Star Wars game. I imagine after release, Respawn and them were getting together like Paul Rudd, saying, hey, look at us, who'd have thought? But now we have a new issue. Now that Respawn has us hooked, where do we go from here? There's the teeny tiny matter of Cal and the crew having to get out of the picture before episode 4, but it's a good problem to have. The ending of Fallen Order shows that Respawn knew that they were going to get a second game, but what needs to go in the sequel? Death sticks? More lightsabers? Death sticks again? The mind truly boggles. So, I'm Jedi Master Iwan Patasone, this is WhatCulture Gaming, and here are 10 things Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2 must include. Spoilers ahead, by the way. Number 10. More Force powers. One of the coolest additions to the lore of the Force in this game was the ability to use the mystical energy to slow down opponents and objects. This was a fantastic way to introduce creative puzzles and strategies for approaching combat, but we can definitely go further with it. Now that The Last Jedi has reminded everyone that the Force is magic and thus has literally no rules, Fallen Order 2 should treat that like what it is. Open up the floodgates and do whatever. Just, let's not make it Dragon Ball Z-ish. I love the Force Unleashed as much as the next Nerf herder, but let's leave the Star Destroyer yeeting to Galen and leave it alone. From introducing new Force powers, like maybe throwing around fireballs or something, to bringing back old EU Force powers like Battle Meditation from the KOTOR games, or the weird Force powers shown in the Overlord's arc of the Clone Wars, there are tons of directions you can go in with Fallen Order. Hey, if C is playable this time around, maybe we could see a repeat of the Jedi Knight games and marry Dark with Light together. I miss getting to go zap with the lightning. Also, Kyle Katarn. Good night, sweet prince. Number 9. Deeper lightsaber combos. While being a Souls-like game, the main difference in combat between Fallen Order and Dark Souls is the fact that you can chain together multiple attacks into combos, separated between normal attacks and heavier attacks that use up Force energy. While what we got worked just fine, this gives us the opportunity to go even deeper in the sequel. Everyone who's played this game has had that moment where you manage to stun, parry, or slow down an opponent, but you just can't string together the amount of attacks needed to really take advantage of the generous length of time that they are stunned. It's not like Dark Souls where attacking them while stunned is one super critical strike, so it would definitely be nice if we had more combo upgrades in the next game. This works into my next point quite nicely, in that Fallen Order should allow Cal greater control over his saber stances. The split part saber is such a cool idea, but why can't it be a stance? Just a thought. Number 8. Meaningful customization. Being able to customize your lightsaber, ship, and appearance was a surprisingly addictive part of Fallen Order's gameplay. But like with a lot of things in the game, it could definitely be taken a step further. I mean, if you have a life-destroying addiction to ponchos, Fallen Order has you covered. But let's face it, Cal needs to Marie Kondo his wardrobe and try branching out with different clothes. I mean, Jedi robes are probably a tad conspicuous when you're on the run, but it would be nice to have the option, as would the ability to customize individual parts of these outfits, rather than picking different color schemes over and over again. And in the case of the lightsaber, while you can give the saber all the different hilt, shaft, and emitter combos you want, and impressively they all match up really well with each other regardless of combination, that's about the end of it. Let's change the style of the blade too, maybe even make it crackle like Kylo Ren's saber, or introduce stuff like hinged sabers like the Dark Ray vision seen in The Rise of Skywalker. Anything really just to take the lightsaber customization up another notch altogether. Number 7. New villains. Including the Inquisitors and the Night Sisters in Fallen Order was a stroke of absolute brilliance. It's a testament to how well the new canon is gelling together, and well, as a fan of the Clone Wars and Rebels, it was great to see these shows heavily referenced throughout the game. So, as long as we're digging into the new canon to find our villains, there are certainly other avenues to explore. Now that the Empire is fully aware of Cal's presence, it would make sense if they decided to send either Admiral Thrawn or Ray Sloane to take him down, and it would definitely be interesting to see younger but no less dangerous versions of these characters in video game form. They could even go the full Rebels gambit and bring back Sarah Michelle Gellar to play the Seventh Sister. Star Wars, in the end, has a ton of baddies to choose from, and plenty in the Emperor's contact list that can be thrown at Cal and his buddies at a moment's notice. Hopefully the next villain to threaten our heroes is even half the villain Trilla was, because oh god, Trilla was so good. So good. Hey, wasn't Maul hanging around this time? He might be cool. Number 6. More expanded universe references. As much as I loved all the references in Fallen Order to the Clone Wars and Rebels, we can go further than just referencing the TV shows. As good a place to start as it is, now that the game has folks hooked, now's the chance for Respawn to really dig into the new canon, which I'm kind of obsessed with. By the way, you want some quick recommendations, you should definitely read Dark Disciple and Alphabet Squadron. Those two are chef's kiss good. Anyway, I want to see more references in Fallen Order's sequel, and they don't even have to make it too on the nose. Like how they made Cal's master the same race as Zeb from Rebels. Maybe the next game could have the Mantis' crew encounter a younger Kanan and Hera from Rebels, or even head to Lothal. Anything's possible. Number 5. Brand new planets. We touched on this a bit in a previous entry, but one cool thing that the next game is most likely to implement is the introduction of planets from the series, and perhaps even some brand new locations as well. With the climbing mechanics of Fallen Order, combined with its open-ended set design, planets like Naboo or Coruscant would be a blast to explore, especially if the sequel goes the full Mario Odyssey route and has goodies stashed in literally every conceivable crevice and crack. Plus, it would give us some environments we've only ever seen on TV to explore in its entirety. It would certainly be interesting to explore a post-Empire Mandalore, for instance, and maybe even team up with members of Death Watch against the Empire. Or maybe even Felucia, where the wildlife is somehow worse than Kashyyyk. Oh god, those albino Wishocks can leave me alone forever. Star Wars has literally hundreds of potential planets to add to its roster, and we're certain that Respawn is nailing down which ones we'll get to visit next time as we speak. Number 4. Flashbacks to before Order 66. Cal Kestis is a decent character, but arguably the standout arcs in Fallen Order revolved around Seer Junda and her fallen apprentice, Trilla. We get a brief flashback to their time together after the Jedi Purge, but one thing I'd really like to see are more flashbacks to their time as master and apprentice. Fallen Order had a tie-in comic called Dark Temple, which explored the relationship between Seer and her master, Eno Cordova, who we see through flashback in the game. That would be great to explore too, but I'd also like to see more of Seer and Trilla before and during the Clone Wars. They're both just really fascinating characters. Also, I'm stupidly hyped for Clone Wars Season 7. The emotions. Oh god, the emotions. Number 3. A warp button, please. Jedi Fallen Order is what you get when Uncharted and Dark Souls do the fusion dance, but to follow that analogy, much like DBZ's famous technique, part of what makes the individual members of the dance who they are end up lost in translation. Bits and bobs you didn't know you'd miss until they were gone. In Fallen Order's case, Respawn, for whatever reason, thought it would be a great idea for this game to have no warp feature whatsoever. We have no idea as to why, but this needs to be corrected immediately. I mean, it's fine. It's not like the game prides itself on large, intricate worlds that wind and wander every which way. No, of course not. Where your only salvation from the many difficult enemies lies in checkpoints throughout the map that then reset them all in the exact same order over and over again, leaving you to a tedious cycle of backtracking and torment. I haven't collected all the crates for this reason. Number 2. More Night Sister Merrin. Ask anyone who one of the best characters in Jedi Fallen Order was, and most will say Night Sister Merrin. Not only was she a great way to establish what happened to the Night Sisters after the Clone Wars, namely all but her were killed, ouch, but she was also an entertaining character whose interactions with Cal were, quite frankly, adorable. That said, the game didn't really do that much with her after she joined the crew of the Stinger Mantis. All your crew just stay on the Mantis for the most part whenever you land on a new planet, so the suggestion doesn't really just go for Merrin. Let's have them join Cal as he explores, not all the time, but certainly on occasions. Her being a Night Sister, her relationship with the Force isn't like anything seen with the Jedi, as anyone who watched Clone Wars will tell you. And while they do explore her different techniques plenty in the game, even more of that is always nice. They also hint at a possible romance between Cal that hopefully will be better explored in the next game because yes, I ship it. And as a man who doesn't ship many things, apart from Finn Poe and Kenobi Ventress, please don't read my fanfiction, that's kind of a big deal. Bottom line, this is a character they had better give more screen time to next time around, please. And number 1, space combat. If you give me a spaceship, allow that ship to be customized with different skins that you can collect throughout the world, and make the ship an active part of the game, I expect to be able to fly said ship around. Space battles are a staple of the Star Wars experience, so if the next game wants a good hook, something to spice up the gameplay for the sequel a la Assassin's Creed 3's naval combat, introducing space combat with the Mantis is a great place to start. It's not like it would even be that hard to implement. Just add on collecting new guns, missiles, and whatever else to what you can collect as you traverse planets. It'd certainly be a more rewarding prize for completing the game's more head-scratching optional puzzles than just a new paint job. It would also help the story make more sense. The Empire, at some point, should probably realize that the Space Wizard with the double-bladed laser sword is not someone you want to take on face-to-face. especially when blasting him into the cold vacuum of space is a viable alternative. So, why aren't they chasing down the Mantis while it's in space? Adding space combat is the best addition Respawn can make to justify, from a gameplay standpoint, a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. Also, let the Bogling out. Hashtag free the Bogling 2020. I'll rescue you, poor furry cat rabbit thing. And that, scoundrels and rogues of WhatCulture Gaming, was our list. Please let me know what you want to see in Fallen Order 2 down in the comments below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell too. It really does help us out. Remember, you can find more articles like this at whatculture.com/gaming, and more of me on Twitter at @UNRuinsThings. For now though, may the Force be with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!